Hey guys, it's Mari here, and I have an art journaling project to share with you today. This is a project that I originally did for the Crafty Maven Getaway. It's my last project for that channel and that design team, so I just wanted to share it with you here today on my own channel as well. And this is my Small Dilutions art journal, and I'm just starting out with a paper napkin, and I've just taken that paper napkin and I've separated it. It was actually a 3-ply napkin, so if you've never done this before, the best result is if you separate all the different plies and just use that top ply on as your background. And I've just put it down there with some collage medium. And then I actually I brushed a little bit of heavy gesso over top just to mute it a little bit. And then I put some molding paste using that Paris stencil over top just to create some texture on the background over the stencil. Now I've just taken some gelatos and I'm going to just add some color with some grays and some pinks, which was the mood board for this week over on the Crafty Maven Getaway. So now I'm just going to take some really hot pink color shine and add a little more pop of that pink on there. And I just continue to let this dry in between these frames so that you don't have to watch me drying everything with my little heat tool. And I did not have a plan for this layout before I started, so I really had no idea where I was going with this black spot, other than I thought that I might put some darker spots to put some dimensional stickers and so on the layout, but I decided not to do that. So then I kind of thought I'm going to go with some flowers because that's easy. It's kind of a go-to for me in my art journal, and I'm just creating these flowers just using some I just put down some gelato base and then go over top with my heavy gesso with my finger just to create some flowers. And this is really, really super easy to do with your finger. You just chop some color in or some paint in there with your finger. I'm just using my palette knife a little bit to create a little more texture. And probably the most important thing about this technique is not to overwork your product. So I am using that heavy gesso for the white there and for the texture of the rose, and just using the gelato for the pink. And over on the right side, in the bottom right side where that color shine is, that was beautiful because color shine's not a permanent product, and so it just worked up nicely into that color of that rose when I added the gelato and the gesso on there. So that was awesome. And that is one of the cool things if you know your products really well and you know how they're going to react with each other. If you don't want something, if you want to be able to move things around and change things, that's a nice thing about non-permanent products. So you can take your baby wipe and you can wipe that gelato right off if you don't like it. And I do that several times. You can see I did it in that spot there where I've decided that I'm going to add a face. So at first I thought I would have the face kind of like over both sides of the page, and then I changed my mind and decided to keep the face only on the right side of the layout. And you can see I changed things up here a little bit slightly. I don't get the mouth in the right place, and so I just take my wipe and wipe that off because the pencil that I'm using here is my Inktense outliner. And yeah, unless you've activated it, it's still non-permanent. So if it's just dry on there, you can wipe that right off. Inktense, once they've activated with water, are permanent once they've completely dried. So yeah, if you haven't damped it yet, it's still going to be some movable product on there. I'm just taking the end of a brush and I'm just adding a little bit of detail to the center of those roses. And then it's just really simple from here. I'm going to create the title on here, the message or the theme with some alphas that I had in my stash, and they're just a really, really pretty silver. And so I'm just going to put Paris, always a good idea. And that's a famous quote. I can't remember if it was Audrey Hepburn or I don't know. I thought maybe Ernest Hemingway too. I couldn't remember who for sure said that quote. And then off camera, I actually end up adding my comma in there, which I forget to put on camera. So it's going to say Paris, always a good idea. And I do add just a tiny little wee bit of journaling down at the bottom as well. So I really do love the color combination here with the pinks and the grays and the silver. and really super easy to put together. Like I said, I did not have a plan. I did not plan this out. Really didn't know where it was going to go. And that's very, very common for me for art journaling. Art journaling is definitely my very most favorite thing to do in my craft room. And it's really messy, and it takes a lot of time when you sit down to do a project. If you really want that project to sort of like go the full expanse of where you want it to take you, it can take some time, but it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely worth it. So I had a great time creating this today, and I hope you enjoy it. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you another time here on my channel. Bye-bye.